Cool.
Alrighty, so just press play, and I'm just gonna take a look for a minute or two. So this is, just to clarify as well, because you said you have an account in silver and diamond. Is this a
Yeah,
diamond game or is this a silver game?
this is the silver.
Alrighty. Okay, so I can already see where maybe some of the frustration might be coming in as a Moira player, as because you're not on the front line, you're not able to create space. If your team doesn't do much,
Yeah,
then it can be very difficult. I know I've coached other
exactly.
more players with the exact same kind of mentality. Is like, if my team's just chilling in place and not ever pushing, what do I do,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, exactly.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a situation where, of course, we'll go through this as we progress through the replay. But if this becomes a kind of an issue and you feel like your team's not pushing at all, then that's where we can kind of look to branch off and even go and do kind of our own DPS thingies. Because I'll find value of DPS mooring even up until, like, plat and diamond, or like, so essentially, if you're at silver, you can essentially like kind of solo carry just off of your mechanics if you're a diamond player, even if you're playing
Right.
dumb, right? So in this scenario, if your
True.
team's not pushing at all, then we can kind of gear our play style more towards DPSing, and we can break off from them a tiny little bit and attempt to go into the backline or something of the like. But that's only in a situation where your team isn't doing anything at all, right? If your team's
Right.
actually being like semi decent and they're taking some space, then we probably want to stick with them. But if they ever, let's say, like, the enemy, to like, I guess an example is that I had with somebody else was, it was gardens on Lijiang Tower, and the enemy team, or sorry, our team was just kind of sitting in our spawn essentially for like a minute straight,
Right.
just sitting there shooting, right? And in that scenario, it might just be better off for you to go on a flank and try to get in their back line.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Get into position. Our enemies return. I am under attack.
So yeah, so in this situation, I was mad confused
Repair the damage.
because so the
Everyone
team
split
is
up.
super, yeah, the team is super spread, and then I was just like, okay, I don't know, like Arissa's alone, so it doesn't make sense for me to just stay with Arissa, and so I was just like, I don't know, like which way I'm supposed to.
Yeah, so we always want to try to stick around as many people as we can. So in this scenario, we probably do want to go with Orisa because of the fact that
Okay,
Hog is self-healing. Ana is sitting in the back here and she's healing these guys, right? Reaper's off on his own. You never want to chase after this type of dude, right? What are you gonna get after going after the Reaper if he's all the way there in the back line? But
right, right,
Orisa is somebody that you can stick with pretty easily, and since she's on the front line, she's probably gonna be taking a very hefty amount of damage. So Orisa's probably the one that we want to be focusing on healing here. The second thing
okay,
I'm looking at when we're coming into this fight is the fact. Oh, snap! I didn't kept getting that wrong. Um, I'll be looking to open this up with just throwing in a right click right off the bat here. Or
okay.
not right click. Sorry, a damage orb is what I meant to say. So throw out a damage orb right off the start here. Damage orb is going to get you roughly 10% ult charge if it's fully eaten up by everybody.
Mhm.
That means that in between fights, that's going to be very, very good ult charge and damage that we're putting in. So essentially what you're going to find with Moira, and we'll see if this becomes a big problem as we continue here, that any time that somebody is not immediately requiring healing, we should be looking to damage. This will keep our resource meter up. That applies to your coalescence, that applies to your regular damage, that requires to your orbs. If a healing orb is not needed, so times that healing orbs are needed are when somebody is critical and they need burst healing, when somebody's too far away and you need to heal somebody, when you
Mhm.
yourself are low. Maybe if you have your ultimate and you don't need your the damage for the ult charge as much. When you don't are out of resource, you might want to throw the heal orb so that you can kind of heal your team while you're trying to get damage in, right? So there are a bunch of different times where heal orb's going to be needed, but we really need to, like, anytime that it's not needed for one of those reasons, we should be defaulting back to the damage. So,
Damage. Okay.
yep. So damage across all three of Moira's abilities: coalescence, orb, regular primary fire. damage is the default, but healing is going to be happening so frequently it's not even going to seem like that, right? Healing, but you're going to want to find around the 50-50 split, and sometimes even in these games where teams not really doing a whole lot in silver, you might even want to go heftier on the damage side. But
Okay.
a lot of Moiras are surprised that you should be damaging so often, but here this is just going to get us our coalescence faster, which will in turn give us a lot more kind of a punching power with healing and damage.
Okay, that makes sense.
Righty. So this second orb is particularly what I'm looking at here. We end up just kind of launching into nothingness. Or we just launch it that way. We don't need healing. We're not launching this at anything particularly that's gonna get value. It just kind of feels like we're tossing it out. Make sure that this is instead a damage orb if we are tossing this. That way we can start to get we can burst down, for example, the Mercy. If the Mercy is floating into a super open area like this, we can look to burst her down, and the damage orb will help us do that like 2 times faster. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I think there was a pick there, if I noticed that.
Righty. Okay, good. I like the orb there. Yep. Right now we're just looking to regroup. Oh, alrighty. Make sure you're not running into a bastion.
Yeah.
Alright, Areno. Alright,
I must reflect upon this.
Don't worry, my friends. I am your shield.
Allow me.
Barrier won't hold forever.
This will heal you.
Don't move.
I cast it.
I will keep you healed.
okay.
My condition is improved. This will
Alright, so far it's seeming like our brain is centered very, very highly on the healing, and we're going almost like 80-90% healing, and then not a whole much of damage yet. We're throwing, that when we're back here at this point, right, we're kind of healing Hog when it's unnecessary, right? Look at Hog's HP, we just keep tapping him. We throw a healing orb at him here. When he is self-healing himself up, he can be pocketed by us and Ana, and he also gets a nano boost here, right? So he has a ton of things going for him. Keep in mind, every time somebody's critical doesn't mean that they're in danger, right? Let's say that we have somebody who's critical, over here in our spawn, they're probably not going to be in danger of dying. So if they're right here, all we have to do is just regular heal them up. So we have to pay attention to how many people are actively shooting at them. Are there any ultimates coming on them, right? Any abilities being used against them, right? With Hogs using self-heal, getting pocketed by 2 people and is around the corner, just because he's critical doesn't mean that he is in danger of dying here.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so alright, so I definitely need to put a lot more emphasis on damage. Yeah, I was definitely playing really passive, waiting for the team, but I can see like why. I can see like there's just like so much time I'm not doing anything and just that makes
And
sense.
then like the reason I could see this as the reason why you're not climbing is it's a whole separate skill to be able to hang at a rank than to be able to climb out of a rank. If we're just doing nothing but healing, that is how you hang at a rank. That is doing your job. But it's when you go above and do more than your job that you are able to carry games. And in this situation, we need to be able to balance healing and damage, because if we're never damaging here, then our team who's silver, our team's not going to carry us, right? Us healing our bad team's not going to make them any better. Essentially here, what we're doing is we're relying on are these silver players to carry us instead of looking for direct impact by ourselves. This is kind of a fallacy in support mindsets, as they think, okay, I'm gonna win games, I'm gonna climb out of my rank if I just heal people better, which is never the case. bar maybe like a character like Mercy, but on most on most support characters, there is an aggressive aspect of their kits. Ana, your most valuable resource is your ability to land anti-nades, and you can carry off of anti-nades and sleeps. Lucio, you can dual DPS. Moira, you have a ton of damage that you can output. So we just want to be looking to output this damage, right, and get in there a little bit more aggressively. Alrighty, so won that fight. That's a decent heal orb. Alrighty.
Get into position. Surrender to my will.
Alrighty, so
Get into position. Surrender to my
It's
Yeah.
it's a 5.
the
I
issue
think
with
we won already. I don't know.
we didn't win. We just used it kind of early there to where they were already running away. Now we did chase them down and we got the pick. Yeah, they
Yeah, I was like, where did he go? He like juked me. and then I chased this Mercy. I was like, okay, I'll get a pick here, but
no. Be very careful about fading aggressively. Very rarely are you going to want to fade aggressively into people because your fade is your get out of jail free card. If we're running into a super dangerous position when we don't have a way to get out, that's not going to be very good for us. So we want to make sure that we're not making stupid plays like this, right? We are diamond and we're playing at silver, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be able to get away with running into the enemy team without abilities to get out, right? So you just got to be very careful about how we're using our abilities there.
okay, that makes sense.
in my approach.
Peasant sing for mine!
Okay, right now we're just tossing an orb and running away. Yep, exactly. Again, we're... Oh, okay, never mind. I didn't see the top. My bad. I didn't see that it was, we were trying to touch there. Well, make sure you're throwing a healing orb for yourself. Pay attention to your health.
True.
And when we're fading in here, look to like kind of immediately back up instead of hanging around on point. We did kind of poke for a second and then we backed up. But yeah, just using healing orb there keeps us alive. It feels like we're just playing at some this round. It feels like at some instances we're playing way too passive, and then sometimes we're playing way too aggressive. We have a very it kind of is either 0% or 100% with it. So look to find more of an even balance where we're playing in the middle of our team and we can damage from our team. Essentially, we want to make sure that we're within damage range at all times. We want to make sure that we're within damage range on enemies and we're within healing range on the majority of our team. And then that's around the ideal position, because that way we can get a resource back, put in damage. Just haven't really seen us do much of that. We've either we've either sat on the opposite side of the map from the enemy team or we're right up in their face on top of them, right? We can look to find more of an even balance. We do have a bit of a range on our ability on our primary and secondary fire here. Guess we can demonstrate this if we need to here.
Okay.
Alrighty, so on your right click, you're gonna have a 15 meter or 20 meter range actually. Right, so we can damage people from here. We cannot damage them from here. So 20 meters, right? 20 meters. Okay, so you want to be trying to stay within this range of enemies, right? So we can just do this and be damaging them to get a resource back, get damage in. Keep in mind as well, when we're trying to focus people, try to focus the easiest people to pick, which are going to be the DPS and the supports, not tanks, not Bastion, right? We're not gonna be able to melt Bastion, we're not gonna be able to melt tanks because we have a very slow damage. But if we're throwing a damage orb at a squishier target, right, that's gonna do a ton of damage to a squishy target. So we really want to make sure that our target priority is on characters that we can melt. So the supports, the DPS, tanks have 3 times the health, they have tanking abilities, and then on top of that, most of the times DPS and supports, on top of being the easiest ones to kill, have the most output statistically, right? Damage do the DPS, supports do the heals, tanks exist to support and prop up and make space for the DPS and support. So us bypassing the tanks and going for those guys are gonna be much more efficient for us. Now, if we're just trying to go for getting our resource back real quick, no, that's fine. But most of the time we're gonna want to stick on the squishier targets, which I didn't really see much of in our last game. 15 meters
Right,
are gonna be
right.
our heal range, right? So we can heal from here. We cannot heal from further away, right?
Okay.
So we want to
Okay.
look to stay within that range on most of our teammates, and then within the other range on our enemies.
Okay. Okay. I got you. So put more emphasis on squishier targets.
Yep. Okay, we're on our Oasis, I believe.
Welcome to Oasis. Ready for battle. For 3, 2, 1.
Group up.
Okay, toss in those orbs. That's always a really, really good habit to get into, right? If we toss in an orb right as the fight's starting, nobody's going to be critical as soon as the fight starts. Nobody's going to be in need of a healing orb as soon as the fight starts. We're not going to run out of our healing resource as soon as the fight starts, right? There's going to be no reason why we need to hold on to orb. So what we want to do at the very beginning of a fight is toss in the orb, and that just puts us a foot ahead on our ult charge. In between fights, right, you have roughly 20 seconds, right? In silver, that's going to be even longer because people take longer to group up. So you're going to have, in a higher rank, 20 seconds per fight in between fights. But then down here, we're probably going to have like 30, 40 seconds between each fight. That means that is 2 to 4 orbs you can launch into the enemy spawn in between a fight, which is 20 to 40% of your ult charge in between every single fight, right? Which is going to be an insane booster on how many ults we get. If you say like just that, hearing that number, right, you get your ultimate 20% faster every single game, right? That's a nuts number because you're just charging it a whole lot faster and getting a whole lot more value out of it.
Okay. Okay.
This will heal.
Okay, good usage out of the healing orb though, because we did use it when people are critical.
The objective is now.
This will restore you. Your strength fades. Toying with the ledge.
Again here, preferably try to be on the Lucio. Yep, exactly right. We swapped to the Lucio. Very good.
I cast this.
How long did we have that orb for? Okay, we had this orb the whole time. Keep in mind, your orb will burst people down much, much faster. The faster we can kill somebody, the less time they have to heal themselves, the less time they have to get away, less time they have to get team support. They have to use movement
Right.
abilities. So the faster we kill things is always going to be better. So in this situation, when we're trying to kill the Sigma, or even the Lucio would probably be better here, right? We toss an orb right behind him because if he's walking backwards, we want to throw it in that direction. Right?
Right,
So we
right.
throw orb at him, and then now he's dying 2 times faster. Right, the other thing to pay attention to is that we die while we have Fade available, and
Yeah.
if we're holding on to orb for that long, we might as well try to just throw it as a healing orb, because we're dying when we have healing orb as an option here.
True. True. Okay.
So, we really shouldn't be dying too much, right? At this rank, just be very careful about your health. Make sure you're paying attention to it. We've died quite frequently, and at a rank like this, if you're coming down from Diamond, that shouldn't be nearly as frequently, right? We should be dying a lot less, and the less deaths we have, the more we're going to be able to do. So really focus on just staying alive, as that'll allow us to get more value. Because we're dying, we died super early, and then now that puts our team down for this next fight.
Okay. Okay.
To repair the damage.
Hey, like that heal orb.
Get into position.
Don't be afraid to fade over to people when they're too far away for you to heal, right? If we're trying to get to the Bastion because we see he's critical, just use your fade, right? And that way we can travel this distance and half the time and get over there and be able to heal them.
Get into position.
Okay, true. I was just like, sometimes I hold on to it too much,
Mm.
but no.
Repairing the damage.
Yeah, that would be a better idea.
This will restore you.
And right now we need to be damaging much more. We ran out of heal juice, right? So we want to make sure we're whenever we're out of healing, we need to put a heavy priority on our damage. But then the other thing here is we can just ult a little bit faster, as we do ult pretty late here, which results in him dying before we even get our ult off. So the ult comes as an afterthought, right? We're ulting after we run out of healing, or instead we should be ulting, right before even before he gets shattered here, right?
Okay, because he was gonna die. I think that okay. Because I just wasn't sure like if my healing would be good enough.
Which keep in mind,
Or-
it's not just the healing factor; it's also the damage, right? That you're getting, and you're hitting multiple people on their team with a damage orb as well as healing him. So be looking to use it. Now just keep in mind as well with your ult, that's not an ultimate you want to hold on to. Typically, you want to use ults as early in a fight as possible without using it too early, right? Now, like we can say that based off of, let's say they use Valk, right? Their Valk gets damage boost and kills people faster, and those kills put their team at an advantage. Now, that means that if we use Coalescence after they use Valk and they get those kills, our coal gets less value because we have less of a follow-up on our ultimate, right? We have less people alive. So our team is at a significant disadvantage because we're using our ultimate later. Whereas if we use our ult first, we get that man advantage and we have the advantage in the fight. So we want to be looking to use our ultimate anytime at the very, very beginning of a fight, right?
Okay.
As long as it's not too early to where they can back up.
Okay.
I require assistance. Press the attack. Group up with me.
Your strength ebbs.
The power of destruction. Allow me. My will made real. Strength flows from you.
Right.
Press the attack.
Focus the Mercy, not the Doomfist. Doomfist has 250 HP. She has 200 HP. She's pocketing him, right? So Mercy's going to be the much easier target to kill and the better target to kill there.
Okay.
Alright, so we start shooting at her, then we kind of pull away. Target priority needs a lot of work.
This will improve your condition.
Meteor strike.
Enemy in my sight.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Step right.
Yeah. That orb was like no value.
Okay.
Surrender to my will.
Good fade, good heal orb.
This will restore you. Repairing the damage.
Oh, unfortunate. Yep. Again, I think we are damaging quite frequently now. In this round, it's just that our target priority is all whacked up to where we're constantly on tanks and on Doomfist and on characters that are being pocketed by supports, instead of being on the supports first and then moving on to those characters, which means that we just never get any value because Moira's essentially a tickle character, right? Think of yourself as like Winston, right? You don't do a whole lot of damage, but you're very, very good at doing consistent damage. So if we're looking to just shoot the tanks, we're not going to get anything done, right? If a monkey's just trying to duel a Reinhardt straight up, he loses. Reinhardt gets pocketed, Monkey doesn't do any damage. But what Monkey and Moira thrive at is when they're on the supports and on the DPS, because those are the easiest things to kill. Now, maybe Doom isn't going to be the easiest. There's some DPS that are harder to kill than others, so maybe Doom isn't the one you want to be on. But definitely Mercy, definitely Lucio. Sombra's one that you could be okay at, right? We can cancel every Sombra hack. We just want to be on the right targets when we're looking for damage.
Okay, okay.
I'm not dead yet.
Entering the objective. Try and stop me.
I understand. I'm restoring you. The power of destruction.
The Jesus sings for mine.
Get into position. I will rebuild you. Surrender to my will.
Meet your strike.
That's so funny. It was almost like I was in the game playing. I like reacted in real life.
Okay, sorry, can you say that one more time?
No, nothing. I like thought I was playing for a second, and like I was like, no, never mind, never mind.
Stay down.
That changes my thinking.
Enemies reviving.
Restore you.
Nice, good awareness.
I will unmake you. I'm under.
And make sure fading. I do think that fade also needs a lot of work, as we're holding on to it in situations where it's gonna be super useful, right? Where whenever we're dying, right, we can look at our deaths and think about how we can improve off of them, as deaths are very often something that's very easy to cut out, right? And then it will give us a lot more time to be alive and do things. So,
Right.
when we die, we can look at our abilities and go, all right, did we hold on to our abilities? Yes, in this case, yeah, we had our fade up, which means that we could have faded out of the Doom Slam, and then we are alive longer. Were we out of position? Right, we can look at our positioning here. Right,
I will unmake you.
little far on the open, right? So we leave this. We can go over some positioning real quick.
Science
Alrighty.
will reveal the truth.
So, if we are standing right around here, right, and there's an enemy team standing right there, they're all shooting at us, right? It takes us 1, 2, 3 seconds to get behind cover, and now they can't shoot at us. But in that time, we died, right? Because we are too far away from cover to start off. So positioning, good positioning, is the usage of cover, whereas bad positioning is the absence of cover. Right here, we have the option to duck behind cover in half a second, which means that we can heal our team up, damage enemy team from here, or we can, we might have to push up a little bit, right, to where we're right here. This is a lot closer than being up there, right? And then we can fade from here, right, coalescence, right? So we want to make sure that we're not wide peeking angles, so we're not out in the open, but we're using cover when and that'll be a lot better positioning for you, right? We can use slopes as cover, right? We can use pillars as cover, right? Anytime we're low, okay? And we can just duck behind it if we start getting shot at. Corners, and we can use objects like this, right? We can use the payload where we're ducking behind it. Corners, corner, right? Or doorway. And then these all act as cover to where we can survive a lot longer. Now, with your fade, the other thing that we want to do with our fade is when we're using our fade, we want to use it to fade around things. So when we're fading, we use it like this, where we can get behind cover by kind of manipulating how we're using it, right? Whenever you're fading, you don't have to just go straight forwards, straight backwards, right? You can add turns in there, and you can stop it, right? So we just want to practice not going the full extension of it, right? So if we come here, we can, instead of going the full duration and landing here, we can stop ourselves just by holding down forwards just for a second, right? So this way we can just go forwards only a little bit, or backwards only a little bit. So that means that if we get dove by Doom, for example, instead of backing if Doom's on top of us and our team's standing here, instead of backing off a mile, right, to now where we have to walk back towards our team, we can just back off a little bit, right, or even stand in place, right? We just do this real quick. So we want to make sure that we want to get good at manipulating our fade so that we can use it to get around corners and a lot better. So forwards and to the left, forwards and to the left, right? We can look that way. We can use our arrow keys, right? And that way we're using it to get behind good positioning, especially when we're running away. It can make it so that the enemy team loses us and doesn't know where we went. Now with your fades to get places faster, I don't know. This one is more like I don't know if I saw it you doing it or not, but you might have been doing it. When we're using our fade, if we just use it straight up, right? We don't do anything. We end up around here. When we add in a jump at the end, we get a little bit of an end momentum going.
Right.
Where we can get to here and go much further. So whenever we're fading, we want to add in a jump at the end if we're trying to go a longer distance, right?
Okay.
Alrighty, hopping back into that game. Or actually, that game is about to end, but we'll see. Was there anything else?
Welcome to Oasis.
Piece of cake.
Alrighty, no, that was actually it. Alrighty, so do you have another game?
Yeah. Give me a sec.
Alrighty.
Okay. Let me see which one. This was.
Now, if you're just trying to purely climb at silver, you can also adopt, like, now this isn't something I would recommend for, playing in your diamond games, but you can also kind of adopt a completely separate play style where you're just mainly going for DPSing.
Damage.
Yeah.
I tried that, but like the team gets really mad, so I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just stick to healing. But I feel like that's how I would climb the easiest.
Yeah,
Is if I just got mad picks.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the team getting mad, it's gonna happen when you're doing that, but that is like sometimes they don't know what's best for them. To be honest, they're silver. They don't know how they're gonna climb. So you going and doing that, and if you're climbing off of it, then there's no problem with it. I know a 4500 Moira who does mostly damage. Who's consistently top 100, but he mainly does damage on Moira. So
Okay.
it's
That's interesting. Damn. Okay, because
Yeah.
there's like that community thing where like
Yep.
Moira is not supposed to do damage, but like I think it's not true.
Yep. Especially like the lower you go, that's how you have an impact on Moira.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Now, if you now in your diamond games, you might want to keep it more towards like 50-50. But if you're healing so often in silver, you're just gonna notice that they don't really do much with the healing, right? They're not gonna carry you with that healing.
Okay, I just sent it.
Traveling to Eichenwald. Ready for battle.
Get into position.
Barrier activated.
Allow me. Allow me to repair the damage. Not yet.
Okay, kind of heal botting right now, right? Get a little bit more aggressive. Whenever you have picks, you want to be more aggressive in general, right? When you're winning the fight, you get more aggressive. Because here we, kill everybody, but we're still not damaging, which means that we just end the fight with no heal resources. We gotta be looking to do some damage. That way we can actually have the resources to heal more people.
Everyone on the objective.
This will restore you.
Objective A.
We seem to go AFK quite
Oh
frequently.
no, Nah, I was just digging around,
All right.
and then I got mad punished for it. I didn't think he would actually like. I don't know. Sometimes I get cocky.
I will unmake you.
I feel satisfied.
Adjusting angle of attack.
Allow the payload moves with certainty.
Make sure that right about now these are all tap heals because that'll use a lot less of your resource. And since the
Mhm.
fight's not going on, you can kind of take advantage of the heal over time effect and not just need to hard heal them.
Right, right.
Right now we need to just be looking for people to damage just so we can try to get that the resource back before the fight starts. So we should be pushed up more towards where our tanks are so that we're within range of the Sigma to damage him rather than being so far back here. Because we're barely even within range to be able to heal the tanks, right? Let alone damage enemies. Like the coalescence, but let's see what happened there. Oh, do you say hold on?
No, no. I thought I died, but you just went back.
Yeah.
Oh, I did die.
So it looks like we just got bursted down there. Unfortunate.
Wait, what kill? Oh, it was Nano Sigma.
Infantry. I'm escorting the payload. Let's keep it moving.
Okay, so that's just unlucky, I guess.
No, not every death is going to have an explanation, right? Most of them will. Around 75% of the deaths you can look at and go, huh, this is why I died. I shouldn't have done that. I should have been behind better cover, been in a better position. I should have been closer to my team. I should have been further away from my team. I should have used my abilities better. I should have used them earlier in the fight. I should have used them later in the fight. I shouldn't have held on to them. Right? There's always something we can look at and improve on. Or not, sorry, I said always. Most of the time there's something you can look at and improve on, but around 25% of the time there's just not really going to be much you can do about it, right? We got bursted by a Nano Sigma. Not really much we can do about that.
Okay, okay.
Oh. They were kind of tunnel visioning around about our surroundings, so we hear. So right now I have volume on 20%. I usually have this at 80%. Right? We listen to this with 80% volume. Right? Soldier and McCree are to our left. Soldier's just firing away. We don't turn around. McCree is shooting at us. Right? We don't take a look at him. The other they're just really bad positioning in our part, right? I'm gonna turn the volume back down because it's loud. And when I'm doing coaching, I turn this down. But this is also really bad positioning because we look at where we're standing. We're just standing on the open. We're standing inside of the enemy team. When instead, maybe what we could be doing is standing like right on cart here. We can damage from here. We can heal we can use this as cover and heal Zarya and Reinhardt from here. But we can still output a good amount of damage, right? Instead, we're kind of out in the open, not near any cover. And even when we are looking for damage, we still want to be using cover and utilizing cover.
Okay, okay. Okay, yeah, I could play this with more safer.
Yep. And then we forget there's an edge.
I warrior spirit.
Mercy on call. Someone help me move this thing.
Group up with me.
Powered up.
The power of destruction.
Our duty is to move the payload. Get to it.
They're relying me on their team a little bit. Okay. I'm putting a little too much of a distance between ourselves and the fights. Like again, we go 0 to 100 with our positioning to where last round we're inside of the enemy team, and then here we're just kind of chilling super far away, right? From here, from this distance, we can't really damage a whole lot, right? From this distance now, right, that we're at, we're almost barely outside of the heal range. The reason why you want to be close to your team, even though you can heal from 15 meters, most of the time you're gonna want to be much closer, right? And the reason why is because you can line up people with your healing, and so instead of healing from back here, or we can't line them both up, we can either heal this person or that person. When we're right here, we can heal both of them by lining them up next to each other, right? And we do the same thing with our ultimate. Whenever we're looking to use our ultimate, we want to be hitting as many people as possible with it. So we're going to look to line people up, right? And then that's how we get value out of our ultimate.
Right.
If I can get this fast.
Double kill.
Righty. Well, I guess that it always takes longer when you're sitting here waiting than
Touch from afar. Unsightly.
Alrighty, so whenever we're using our ultimate, we want to, instead of just hitting one person, we want to look to line up with as many people as possible, so we can wait until people line up, and then whenever we're ulting, we want to toss an orb in before we go. If we're healing, we throw the healing orb. If we're looking for damage with our ult, we throw the damage orb, right? So with our ult, we're looking to line up as many people as possible, right? You might as well when
Yeah,
you're
I tried to
ulting.
do that sometimes.
Yeah, you might as well that you can look to get more aggressive when you have your ultimate available, because you have higher movement speed and you have self heals going.
Welcome to Oasis.
Oh, this is the wrong game. What map are we on? Icon 1?
Yeah.
Traveling to Icon ready for battle. Restoring you. Ability.
So here we're just chilling a little far away. Can't do any damage from here. Okay, now we move forwards. That's good.
What is that melody? Restoring you. The payload has reached the checkpoint. Boosting us. Allow me to repair the damage.
Okay, unnecessary heal orb, right? If it's not needed, just hold on to it here. Right now, once we have our ultimate, right, the big main part with our damage orbs when it is that it gets you ult charge, but then we can also use it to burst down targets. If we're just launching it into their team, that's not going to really burst too many people down because it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. So in this case, when we have our ultimate and nobody needs healing on our team, this is where we just hold on to the ability, right? We just wait until it's actually needed, because there's literally nothing right currently that orb's going to get value out of. Because we just toss it when nobody needs healing, and then that's just going to go off into nothingness as we see, right? And then not get its full value. Here, let's see, yeah, we use this ult.
Allow me to repair the damage. Surrender to my will.
Okay. Already, we're kind of not lining up as many people as we could. Oh, didn't mean to skip so far forward, so we come here to our perspective. Cole. Okay, so and we're looking to hit like the Ryan and somebody else instead. There's multiple people this direction, right? And if we move over to Reinhardt, we can see multiple people. The issue, and then on top of that, remember we're looking for squishier targets, not just farming the tanks. Now we can farm the tanks, but we kill tanks if tanks are the only thing we can shoot at. If tanks are low, if tanks are out of position. Here, none of these are the kind of none of those apply. McCree's out in the open, Moira's out in the open. Anna, if we move more to the side, not really. We can't really get her. But there's better targets to be shooting at than just Ryan and the other Ryan. Again, just a lot of tank focusing.
Yeah, that is true.
Alrighty, so we have 10 minutes left here. Would you possibly want to? So I haven't done this in a while, and I always tell myself like when I'm doing more gameplay like this that I should record myself doing it, and that way it's faster and easier. But would you like to see me go into a game and look to just DPS Moira, and then that way you can kind of just see how you can look to. You don't necessarily need to do a 100% DPS, right? You can heal a little bit, but you can look to see how you can get some value by going more on flank angles. Look to focus the squishier targets. As here we're kind of sitting down main. We're focusing tanks a lot of the times, whereas what we could do is just take some off angles and look to focus their back line a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
All right. So yeah, give me one moment to log on my out because it's not going to be whole lot of fun doing that up against grandmaster players. But sorry, grandmaster
Right.
players. But that's kind of the point, is that you're not doing this at an actual rank where where you're going to have an actual play style. But this is a play style that can help you climb ranks at a rank where people aren't actually being productive and doing anything. Right. But
Right.
but at Diamond,
Okay.
I would imagine people have a better grasp of the game, and they're actually going to be pushing. They're actually going to be able to do things. So you being a kind of mediocre or kind of medium with your damage and healing is going to be a lot different.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's hard to rely on your teammates in C1 because like,
Mhm.
yeah, I think most people don't do their job, so it's like, yeah, it's like necessary.
Yeah.
Almost.
Alrighty, I'm streaming. Just gonna need one moment to get in game. Oh, that's not the right roll. I'm done. I'm smart. All right. Just gonna turn the volume up a little bit more while I'm doing this. I'll do my best to narrate myself doing a little bit, but if I'm I think my push talk was off because I got in game. I'm gonna do my best to narrate as much as I can, but if I start getting rolled because I'm not concentrating as hard, then I might need to be quiet up a little bit. But I'll try to just point out when I'm like who I'm looking to focus targets first, where I'm looking to position. Just pay attention to the fact that when I'm on the flank. If I know I'm in a dangerous position, I'm looking for healing orbs on myself. I'm looking to fade out. I'm looking to use cover very effectively. But when I think I have the surprise advantage on them, or when I'm in a safe angle, then I'm looking for more damaging.
Okay. Okay.
I don't.
So,
Guess we'll just wait until then. Now I guess we can use this time that we have here to do a quick. I guess I don't need the quick break here. We can use this time, I guess, to do a quick review of your gameplay. So orbs, I like to. Orb is basically the same thing as everything else. Make sure you're using the right one at the right time, right healing or damage. Same with your left and your right click and your coalescence usage. Fade needs a little bit of work. I'm gonna turn this down because it's hard to hear myself talk.
Welcome to Blizzard.
So your fade needs a little bit of usage of making sure that you're actually using it. Make sure you're fading around corners and in safe areas with your positioning. Make sure you're standing next to cover. You're standing in next to your team and within range of the enemy team, so you can actually damage them. I guess you have a decent awareness of what's going on around you, so that's really good. Mechanic wise, you are playing Moira, so it's not too difficult. So I think mechanics you're fine on. Now, I also want to clarify before I'm about to get into this that I might be. This isn't the exact playstyle you're gonna want to mimic 100%. I'm mainly gonna be leaning more towards like the damage side with like 80% damage, which might not always be the play, right? So it's just gonna take this at your own discretion, right? This is
okay.
meant to. Oh. I can't remember. Can you fade through that? I don't think you can. I think that catches you.
4, 3.
Okay, so
I have no idea.
Attack commencing. Capture objective A.
Boosting up.
we're just gonna
Storing you.
go off to the side here. Actually, maybe going top right would have been better. But we're good. I'm just gonna fade in and get behind them here. Okay.
Your body decays.
Looking to get some extra damage in. I'm just going behind them more here.
Okay, and
Getting
you're
up
taking
to
safe
them.
angles.
Yep, taking safe angles. I'm waiting for my Orb to get back. Going on the Junkrat because he's out. I see him out of position. Getting that double damage in. Okay, going behind. Health pack.
My condition is improved.
Going on the Ana here. Actually, I'm swapping to the Mercy because it's harder for the Mercy or the Ana to pocket the Mercy. Just getting super aggro on the Ana. Right, Mercy is super easy for Mercy to pocket people, right? But it's not as easy for Ana to pocket somebody. So I'm prioritizing the Mercy first. Mercy's probably going to be my #1 target here. Okay, Chunk. Again, I'm opening up with the damage orb. I got shot up from the side, so I backed up there.
Hi. Group up with me.
I'm restored.
I'm gonna think this through real quick.
I require healing.
I get healed up real quick. I'm gonna look to take high ground control. There's a Junkrat there. Let's see, how do I want to get at him?
Your power
Do do do.
is mine.
Dang. I don't know, I get so scared getting new junks. Because
I require assistance.
they can like one-shot you, so I'm just like I can see them running away.
Keep in mind, like I'm adding in
Surrender to my will.
a lot of like I'm using cover. I'm using my abilities to keep myself alive. Moira has a ton of survivability if you're using it correctly.
I'm on fire.
Right. I can show you a Twitter clip that I like to show to Moira players.
My will made real.
Oh, 1 HP. Get her.
Lifting off.
Right. Yeah. I'll send you a Twitter clip of the player I was talking about. I actually have him on my friends list. He's a 4500 player called Nolan. Nolan Korolov or something like that. But
Okay.
he has a pretty insane play that. All right. Well, I'm not gonna focus him. I don't know why I'm on tank. Sorry. I'm talking, so I'm not thinking through my gameplay there. Okay, so I'm a Mercy. Mercy's 1. And the Soldier, because Soldier's easier to kill than Sorry. I'm using cover here. Okay, they're focusing me now, so I'm going around here. I'm gonna spawn camp the Mercy.
My will made real.
Oh, that was a mistimed orb, but I'm still gonna get the Mercy. Going the Ash now. Just fading out, throwing a healing orb.
Will heal you.
Just, you know, adding in some spam crouches. Making it very hard for her to hit me. And just going on the Soldier here.
Surrender to my will.
Hi, Ana. Alright, turning around here.
This is my will.
Yeah, there's a Mercy. I'm gonna do my best to get behind them in a second here. Okay, Mercy, Soldier's next.
Why'd you go behind?
Because I can get around the tanks that way and get a better angle on the Mercy, right? Where she's not I don't have tanks in front of them. Okay, so I'm being chased here, so I'm throwing the heal orb. Oh. I'm gonna throw a healing orb in a second here. Oh, I messed up my fade there, but I got the health pack.
Your strength fades.
Oh, the
Yo.
they're all in 1 second. Okay. All my abilities are on 1 second. Alrighty, but you can see, even if, like, in that scenario, even though I'm being, I ended up dying, I'm drawing away the attention of 3 players. So if my team had been maybe grouped up and pushing forwards, that's a situation where I'm still getting value, even if I have 3 people on top of me and I'm dying. Ready.
I require healing. Injured
Oh.
again.
We're down 1 person.
My will made real.
Hi, Mercy. I'm going to go on the Ash because she's... Oh, never mind. I'll swap to the Mercy.
This will heal you.
No, she's being pocketed. Alright, Right, I went into a bad position there. Right, so this is something you can do, you know, like while you're just even in the middle of the game. This is how I self-improved. Is I look at that death and I go, wow, I got super aggressive. I fed. I shouldn't have done that. You know, I shouldn't have been out in the open. I shouldn't have run straight into them. So that means that I can use that to self-improve, and then once I'm eliminating deaths like that, I'm improving a lot already. It looks like there might be.
Okay. So it's like, so the next time you just won't do
Yep.
that.
So then in the future, I'm concentrating on my own gameplay, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I did that before. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I might be able to get a C9 going here. Never mind, Soldier's there, but I can still damage him. Oh. I should have used Fade. Oh, my bad. You know, once they start getting used to it, the effectiveness wears down a little bit, and then that's where you can even swap back your playstyle to the original one, right? And you swap back to healing your team more often, and because you know after the first half of the round, they all go, "Wow, Moira's feeding. Let's get her."
Yeah.
Right, but I'm also not fully concentrating here when I should be. Concentrate a little bit more. Okay, I'm going on the Mercy in the back there. Moira. There, I probably should have healed Ball, but focusing on the damage here. Moira's 1 HP. Ah! Alright, this is annoying, but...
I require assistance. This is my will.
Alright, okay, so the problem right now is that I'm doing this when my team's not here, and I should have paid attention to that. So you want to really, if you're in the backline like this, you want to sync it up to where you're going in at the same time as your team.
Okay. Otherwise they'll see you and then they'll do their thing.
Yeah, otherwise they'll all be able to just focus me down, right? And I don't want that to happen. I don't want them all to turn around and focus me, because then I die. Right? If all 6 of them can do that, then I'm not in a good position. So instead, if I go in when my team's going in, that creates a crossfire effect, right? To where now they have to either turn around and look at me or look at my team, and that spreads their attention and makes it easier for both of us, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna go push forwards, right? I'm using the Fade aggressively for the mobility. Should have people walking back here, like Soldier and Ash. Or it's 1 HP, but I'm low. Ooh, uh-oh. Issue. Alrighty. So yeah, you can see there's a few times where I'm getting just a little too aggressive, where I'm messing up, but I also haven't done the DPS mooring in a little while. I used to do this all the time in ranked. Or not in ranked, mainly in quick play, but this also, I have done this in ranked as well. Alrighty, I'm gonna look to get behind them in a moment here. Right, fading to the next cover. Mercy. Ash is in a bad position. I'm going for the Ash. He's also 1 HP. I'm low. Looking to back up here. Yeah, went for Moira. Mercy. Come back, Mercy. Mercy. Yeah, I'm just picking out the best targets and looking to focus those guys.
Okay.
Surrender to my will.
Is approaching its destination.
Fire at will.
You need 2 people at once.
I cast this forth.
Right, and
30 seconds remaining.
you see, I'm being oppressive, and I'm like keeping them the Ash in their spawn. So I'm this is a hairy situation. Alright, but I'm just adding in the spam crouches, makes it super hard for him to hit me. Alrighty. So I'm going to real quickly send you a Twitter clip real quick.
Okay. What was this clip?
This is of the guy that Nolan, who basically, or I'm gonna stream my screen. Or actually, I can link it to you, but I'm also gonna stream it.
Okay.
Or at least, I think I can stream Discord now. Discord. Alrighty. So you're watching?
Mhm.
Oh, hopefully the quality isn't this poor the whole time. Okay, there we go. So basically, this is a ranked game. This guy's 4,500, 4,400, 4,300, whatever. It's basically very high up there. So why is it so blurry? But essentially he goes behind, basically just instantly the enemy team goes behind them. They see him, they chase him. Look, they have 2 people chasing him, right? Okay, so the first thing he does is when he knows they're chasing him, he throws the heal orb. Then he fades. When he fades, he's going around the corner. So now they're all going, where the heck did he go, right? Because they don't know, did he drop down? Did he go behind them? Did he, did he wrap around? So they're a little bit confused. Okay, so he wraps around, he drops down. He adds in a little bit of damage. He, again, runs around the corner, right? Breaks off their line of sight. Throws a heal orb because he knows he's low. When he throws the heal orb, keep in mind that he does bounce it off the wall, so it comes back at him. He walks into this room, goes, oh snap, there's 4 people here. Now he's successfully distracting 4 people on the enemy team. Fades up, again, around the corner, right? Which puts them out of line of sight. Ducks around the corner again. Ducks around a 3rd corner, right? So corner, corner, corner.
Yeah.
Grabbing the health pack. Here, he's screwed. He's out of abilities. Still, all of them are in 3 seconds. They catch him, but he just adds in a little bit of a, he adds in some crouches, some jumps. Typically, I would probably not recommend the jump, but crouch spam, move around. Then as soon as he gets it, he's just spamming shift, and then he moves out again around another corner, right? Throws a heal orb as soon as it comes out. Right, now a few of them give up. This is where a few of them give up and they walk away, but he still does have one person chase him. Has the enemy Moira chase him, right? So he throws the healing orb. Whenever you're in a duel with a Moira, you're probably going to want to throw the healing orb. Okay, enemy Moira calls him. He just keeps himself alive using the heal orb and the damage. He gets another heal orb here in a second, right? Just throughout the entire coalescence, just keeps himself alive. And then ends up winning because the enemy Moira uses
No
damage.
way.
Right, so now,
That's so funny. Actually, ulted.
yep, now he has successfully distracted the whole entire team for a minute straight, which is roughly a fight or 2 fights, right? So technically, for his team, he has won 1 or 2 fights just by existing in the backline. And let's say he dies at this point, right? What happens if he dies here? What happens if he loses?
It'd still be a 5v5.
Exactly, right? He in no case loses this. Even at this point, in this whole point where he's like with his team, he's gonna be getting back maybe 3 seconds late, something like that, right? Him doing this wastes time at little to no risk the further and further into their spawn he goes, right? Now, of course, like I said, this isn't going to be applicable in every single situation, and I would not recommend this playstyle in your diamond games, but when you're in silver, this is going to be, like, let's be honest, this is how you're going to have the best chance of climbing. So I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.